So I'm leaving out for the Emerald City Comic Con. I'm a little late. It's an hour and a half at least drive down I-5, which is quite the crowded corridor. I have to make a stop too, but finally on my way. So see what happens on the way there. Hopefully a safe, uneventful trip, and look forward to see what's going to happen at the show. So first time back in Seattle in a few years. Still shows some signs of past protest and unrest on the walls. And this is my first time ever at Emerald City Comic Con. I didn't go before pandemic, and I had no idea what I was in for. And this is the slow day. This is Thursday. It's a pretty spectacular sight, I have to say. I've been to a lot of shows in the Midwest, and there's nothing I've ever been to that's been this big. I think this may be the second biggest show in the country, but it is pretty doggone big. So there were some big setups of mystery boxes, which is like these boxes you pay 50 or 60 bucks for, with God knows what's inside with a Star Wars or whatever theme you want to have. And that's just not something I would want to take a chance on. But hey, more power to you if that's your thing. I used to sell a lot of pens at my shows too. And I can imagine how many pens I have to sell to make the table fee for a show such as this. Now this was a pretty cool setup. These outfits were like taken from Star Wars or maybe even from the Marvel movies, or I should say Star Trek, mostly inspired. And they're kind of cool looking, but they were a little bit too rich for my blood when it came to the prices. All right, enough window shopping. Now to find Artist Alley. I had identified a few creators that I wanted to maybe get autographs from and maybe get some books graded. I brought some books of theirs to get graded. So I set out to find either the artist or CGC or CBCS or whoever was there, or somebody who could help me out with that. So the first booth that I saw was CBCS. So I made a stop with those guys and found out what I had to do to make this happen. So the first thing I have to do is to find the artists, make sure that they're at their tables, and then go find the witness, bring him over, have him witness it. We'll bring the books back, have them graded. Bada boom, bada bing. It was a pretty easy process since all my creators were sitting pretty close together. So that went way better than I expected. So I figured now it's time to go get some lunch and just celebrate my CBCS grading victory. There was a cheesecake factory right across the street. I thought maybe I can find something better. Huge mistake. I just want to take a second to talk about this abomination right here. This pile of steaming crap cost $17 and is nothing but basically some rice, some shredded cabbage, two unidentifiable sauces, and a skewer of chicken that does not taste anywhere near as good as it looks. Disgusting. I get the feeling that all the savvy downtowners know to avoid this place, and all of us who were there for the day just got suckered in. And ironically, the name of the restaurant is Cafe Yum. Yeah, fuck you, Cafe Yum. So after picking up a Cliff Bar and a bottle of water from a convenience store, it's back to the show. One of the best things about this show is seeing all the representation of the indie comics community. Places like Oni Press, Aftershock had a big booth. There's so many other big indie comic creators there that you don't see at a lot of shows. And that's, man, big ups to these folks who represent here. So now the last order of business is to find some comic book dealers. So I go on the hunt. I see you, Vault, over there in the corner. Respect. Gonna have to pod down the K-pop that was playing in the background so I don't get a YouTube strike because I'm sure it's copyrighted. But man, they were pumping it. So this dude had Devil Dinosaur #1 for 98 bucks, and I bought the same book in same condition for like 20 bucks a few weeks ago. I found another dealer who sold me 30 books for 50 bucks, and here they are. So here's every comic that I picked up from the show. 30 comics. Only got, I should say, I only went to one vendor, and they had everything I wanted. I was pretty much done after that. This first one's Mr. Monster, high octane horror, which I'd never heard of, from Eclipse. It's like the cover, and I bought it. So this is like #1 of that from Eclipse Comics from looks like the 80s or whatever. This is just such a, I almost bought both copies. There were two of these. I almost bought both of them. There's Prince Valiant, which is a newspaper comic strip. These are probably just collected strips from Prince Valiant. These are all $3. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Archie, I pick up loose Archies in good condition or in like fine or better condition whenever I see them, because Archies are Archie has their own fan base, and they're valuable. A lot of them are. This Laugh #8 from looks like it's from also from the 80s maybe. And the Shield #1. It's probably not the first volume of the Shield #1, but it is the #1, and it is the original Shield. I have never ever heard of Thunder Agent Dynamo before, so why not? $3. Big 25 center from the 60s, because it's a 25 center giant Tower action series, Tower Comics. Never heard of them. #2, not #1, but #2. Joe freaking Palooka. Joe Palooka is a strip. This is from 1949. There was another Joe Palooka that I almost picked up too, but this one had the coolest cover. So I was trying to trim the fat, and I picked up this one. It's in pretty good shape too for a golden age 10-cent comic. This was a big deal back in the day. Blue Beetle #3. This is from it says it has a loose page on the back right there, but I didn't see the loose page. It was probably just grading. I guess whoever went through this, they just graded it and put all the flaws in it. But it's a Silver Age comic, 1966 or 64. I'm not sure, but it's the early 60s. That Blue Beetle. Superman for All Seasons. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. The late Tim Sale. So I have not read this, but I've heard some good things about it. So I figured I'd check it out for $3. Secret Origins #1. It can be I think I've seen it for as much as $20 or more for this issue. But for $3, and it's in pretty good shape. I would call this definitely a fine condition, maybe like maybe a 4, 3 or 4, something like that. But I couldn't resist it. There were 2 copies of it. I meant to put one of them back, and I totally forgot. I was going to just keep the nicest copy, but I ended up keeping both of them. OMAC number 2. Swamp Thing. I actually have Swamp Thing number 1 through 10 already, and that's when Wrightson jumped off was at number 10. But I figured I'd probably expand the run to number 12, and I'll look for that number 11 somewhere else if I can find it. Mr. Miracle number 5. This is some Jack Kirby DC goodness. Some of these books I noticed had some water damage on the lower right-hand corner. I'll bet they came out of a box that got flooded at some point. That's cool. I mean, most of them didn't. Most of them are pretty good shape. House of Mystery number 276. This is say a late bronze, early Copper Age book. This was in really good shape. I think probably, I don't know, maybe a fine for sure. Doorway to Nightmare number 4. It's an early appearance of Madame Xanadu. That first appearance of Madame Xanadu number 1 is kind of taking off right now. I think that's been licensed. And this is also in good shape. Another DC horror, which I'm starting to collect all those Bronze Age DC and Marvel horrors whenever I see them. It's just 100-page spectacular Witching Hour, which is it's one of those ones that has a little bit of that water damage I was talking about. But for the price, I like those giant books. I'll take it. Strange Sports Stories. I like weird stuff like this. It may have been a reprint. I think a lot of these were in the Bronze Age, but Strange Sports Stories, I just think it's funny. That's number 4, and this is number 13, which is a giant size special. So yeah, another DC Bronze Age cool book. Moving over to Marvel. I've never heard of this series. Hobgoblin Lives is from 1997. I just saw the cover, and it's George Perez, Ron Friends cover. I just couldn't turn away. Okay, I gotta have this one. And then number 2 was there too, so I picked it up too, just because it was there. Conan number 26. This is, I think, around the time of the first Red Sonja appearance. I'm not quite sure, but this was in very nice. All these books were at least fine for the most part condition, except for the ones that were super old. These Marvel superheroes reprints, the early Hulk books from 1979, looks like it's number 84. I gotta get these whenever I can too. I know they're kind of plentiful now, but someday they're not going to be as plentiful, so I like to pick these up. Number 85, also from the late Bronze Age. Some nice mid-bronze, or I should say early bronze. It's a 20 center. I think I may already have this book, but any Iron Man from the bronze or earlier, I am picking them up whenever I can, especially for low prices like that. Number 69. It's a 25 center. That's also from the bronze. It's a little bit more wear on this one, but I'll take it. This one is in probably piss poor condition, but it's Journey into Mystery number 108, and both the front and back covers are detached. But like I said, Silver Age goodness like this, they're just not making it anymore. So if I find it, I'm getting it. This was actually, I think, on one of the lists, maybe the top 20 or one of those lists. And I think, I think it made the top 20. And I didn't even know it when I bought it, but it's only like maybe a $10 book. And this one's not perfect either. But I also collect Power Man and Iron Fist, so had to get it. The last couple are Marvel's Greatest Comics, which are reprinting the Fantastic Four, but they're those 25 centers. I love those 25-cent Marvel books. Love them. Whenever I see those, I pick them up, especially if they're in decent shape like both of these are. So yeah, it's like after I got these books, I was done. That was it for me. No more. And I just pretty much was ready to leave after that. I've been looking for an authentic, affordable little Grogu doll for a long time because Janet loves Grogu, and I finally found one here at this place that sells little scented figures. It's so cute. Well, at this point, folks, I am done, literally and figuratively. The rest of the time, I just kind of take in the whole facility, just kind of sightsee. It's just a phenomenal, spectacular event. I've never seen anything like it. I've been to my share of comic shows. And I was glad to get in on the first day because I really probably wouldn't have liked it on a busier day. It was busy enough for me as it is. So I just took some time, went out to this beautiful atrium that's like right inside the complex. That's where the smokers can go to take off their mask and have a cigarette or whatever. So I sat out there for a while and enjoyed my Cliff Bar and my water and just got ready for the long journey back down I-5 to good old Olympia. Oh, I mentioned that they built this convention center literally on top of I-5. This like straddles the highway. Super cool. I don't know if it's like the best thing to do in a place that's earthquake prone, but hey, only time will tell. But it looks really awesome, and overall it was an enjoyable time. It was an enjoyable time, but man, this comic convention thing is a young man's game, and walking up all these stairs and all these ramps and all covering all this space, my old bones were tired. So that's it, folks. Thanks for stopping by and watching this. Man, it was a great show, but I'm so glad that it's over and I can go home and read my comic books. See you in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.